My name is Beatrice Kwachi, and I work for Advanced Family Planning, which is an initiative within Jpiego Kenya. And I really love working with young people. And when Fanikisha Foundation came on board in 2016 to work with Jpiego and AFP, that was a great joy for me because that is my passion. I love seeing young people prosper, achieving their goals, and as such, working in the area of teenage pregnancy reduction, so to say, it was a good relief because that means then we are working with young people to see that they don't get pregnant when they are young. We put in strategies that will help them to achieve their goals. As I said, we're able to work on interventions that can be able to inform them on what is the next step of life that they can take up. And it's been a great journey working with Fanikisha. In 2016, when Fanikisha came on board, it was really not clear on how we are going to approach this. But thanks to God, because we were able to sit as teams, AFP as ourselves, Fanikisha Foundation, and even the county government, and just be able to brainstorm, what is it that we want to do? Why are we looking at young people? Why are they so important? And with the help of Fanikisha Foundation, because they had really been working on this, they were able to give us insights on how we can be able to approach this. And the journey has been great, as I've said. Many things have been in place. We've looked at issues to do with data, and there's a reduction in teenage pregnancy as we speak, thanks to the intervention that we put in place. We have an action plan on teenage pregnancy that is up and running. Thanks again to Fanikisha, because in this action plan, we're able to come up with the interventions that we are putting in place to look at the reduction of teenage pregnancy. And also, we have a strategic partnership in the county. So why am I bringing in all this? I'm bringing in all this because I want to look at the future of Fanikisha, sustainability. Because again, it's one thing to be on board, to work, but again, it's another thing having a sustainable foundation or rather partnership. So what are the things that we really want to put in place so that we see 10 years from now, we still talk about foundation, Fanikisha. We don't want to be like, it's 2 years, Fanikisha again is gone, no one is talking about it. That is not what we are looking at. So one of the things that AFP and Fanikisha and the other partners we are looking at is actually having strategic partnership. Looking at in Kwale County and seeing who are these partners that are working in the area of family planning and reproductive health. So to say, like-minded partners. And just sitting together and having a continuous conversation. For the interventions that we are put in place, are they enough? Are there other things that we need to look at? And if, there are gaps that needs to be addressed, how are we going to approach that? So that can not only be done by Fanikisha and AFP, but we call other partners within the county and have this discussion. And the other thing that again we are looking at is looking at having more robust interventions. The world keeps on changing. Teenage pregnancy interventions that were being done in 1980, for example, in 1990, are not the same ones that are being done right now. For example, we are talking at right now, we have issues with technology. The young people that we are talking about, they have mobile phones. They can access various sites that they want, all that. Those are the things that we are not being able to see, for example, in the 1980s. So I'm saying this because we need to have the interventions that are speaking to the current world. If we are talking about, again, I'm going back to the mobile phones, these teenagers and young people, the sites that they're accessing, what are the materials that they are reading? What is it appropriate to their age? And if not, what can we do as players in the field to make sure that, they get appropriate messages and materials for their age? So that's an example of one of the interventions that you can put in place, and also many others that are so that we look and see, are they really realistic? Then the other thing, again, I'm looking at for future of Fanikisha is in terms of policy. We have policies that have been developed, they're in place, but they're not being implemented. So for example, if we are looking at the policy to do with the RH and FP towards the young people, we look at are the policies really relevant, and if they're not, are there gaps? And for example, AFP, with our technical experience, we come in there with Fanikisha to be able to see where the gaps are and just reach out to other people just to see how we can be able to address that and reinforce even implementation. If a policy is there in place and is not being implemented, we look at what is it? What is it that is preventing this policy from being implemented? So that at the end of the day, we have policies that are there, they are workable, and they are greatly implemented. Talk about leadership. Yeah, that is something very big in the country right now. When Fanikisha came in place, we had a different government. And as we all know, it was in 2016. As we all know, right now in 2023, we have a new government in place. So clearly there's going to be change in leadership. The decision makers that were there at that time, they're going to change. So we'll have new people. So again, as Fanikisha, we'll have to just to be up, to follow on with the decision makers that are coming in the office right now and just be able to have a discussion with them. What are their thoughts on teenage pregnancy? What do they think that we should do, or what is it that we can do better as compared to the last years? And just be able to get a buy-in from them. You know, without getting a buy-in from leadership, you cannot be able to move, because we have to work hand in hand with the government. And once we get a buy-in, it means there'll be ownership. And so to say, if another government comes in, it will be so easy for take-up and just moving forward. So it will not be difficult for Fanikisha, for example, when we have a new government, that they're struggling to be able to explain to them what they are doing. So leadership is really great, and we have to look at that. The other thing, again, that I would like to talk about is resource mobilization. Again, we all know that we cannot operate without resources. We are talking about helping these young people. Maybe, for example, getting them materials to read and even holding some maybe meetings, outreaches for them. We need finances to do that. So resource mobilization is a great thing that we need to put in place as Fanikisha. And thanks again to Fanikisha, because they've been able to develop a strategic plan, which clearly stipulates the things that Fanikisha wants to do, looking at the intervention that they're looking at putting in place, and even some of the things that they're looking at, maybe how do they get the resources internally and externally. And this is a great tool that Fanikisha can use even outside the country, to look for donors all over, just to have a discussion and say, hey, see Fanikisha, we've been there, we've been working in Kwale County, look at our statistics, this is what we've been able to do. And having enough resources to operate, again, that will be a plus to Fanikisha. So those are some of the things that are just the few things that I would like to talk about in terms of sustainability. And we're really sure that Fanikisha is going places because of the things that they've been able to do, the pace that they've been able to set. And I can clearly say that there are other foundations that are coming forward just to sort of benchmark and to be able to learn from Fanikisha Foundation. What is it that is making Kwale to be the leading, or to move in the pace that it's moving, or the speed? So again, it's really great, because the lessons that Kwale, through Fanikisha Foundation and other players on the ground, and even the Ministry of Health, that they are put in place, the other counties are coming to learn from them, just to borrow the best practices that are in place. And that is really a good thing, because you can imagine if you go to one county and you're told, for example, Migori County, and say, we're able to do this and this because of Fanikisha Foundation. Doesn't it sound so nice? Yeah, it's really good. Looking at the things that we've been able to put in place, as I mentioned, since 2016 to date, the most, if I could talk of just maybe the top two things that are on my mind, it's about high leadership engagement within the county, like it is very crucial to involve the top leadership in whatever you are doing. This is something that we've been able to witness with the Fanikisha, yeah, because we're able to involve all the leaders within the county, talk of the county directors, talk of the county CECs, the county commissioners, and even not forgetting going even down to the partners within the county. So this is something that really needs to be sustained moving forward. And we do hope that with this, Fanikisha will be able again to work again, as I mentioned, with other partners on the ground to see again, are there new things that they need to come up with? For example, to see that they're improving the status the way it is now. Young people really need to be involved in whatever we are doing. As you hear people saying that young people are the leaders of tomorrow, it's not just a saying, it is really true. Because whatever interventions that we put in place right now, whatever investments that we put in place are going to show us what kind of leaders that we are going to have tomorrow. So let us help our young girls complete schools, and we see, professors out there talking about other things. For example, it's not about in the area of family planning and even reproductive health, but let's have even tomorrow young people talking about climate change, talk about, like, for example, gender issues, what they're able to face in the communities they were growing up. So we need to invest in young people. Thank you.